So it's almost 1 year and I don't have a job. I stopped working the day I went into labor. Let me tell you what life is like for a year without a job during a time of inflation, while being a new mom with a little bit of financial stress. If you're new here, my name is Kelly and I gave birth to my baby girl in spring of 2023. I was working from home at my corporate 9-to-5 job. I took a little lunch break, and when I went back to my computer, my water broke. I messaged my performance manager and told her my water broke and I will not be online for the rest of the day. And then that was it. I didn't work for 1 year. Most people will tell their workplace that they will stop working a month before their labor date so that they can prep at home for the arrival of their new baby. But I decided to stop working the day I went into labor. I was working from home, so it was a lot easier for me to do that. I wanted to spend as much time with my baby as I can, so the later I delay my mat leave, the later I come back to work. Now let's get into the finance. I did survive my mat leave, in case you're wondering, but barely. If you live in Canada, you are lucky that the Canadian government grants you 1 year to 1.5 years off and pays for a small portion of your salary for you to stay at home to look after your little one. Let me tell you, if you live in Vancouver, that barely covers living expenses due to how high the cost of living is in the city. My husband and I have been trying for a baby for more than 5 years before we decided to go the IVF route. It was a roller coaster ride, and long story short, we did go for 1 round of IVF but failed, so we did a second round, and that ended up wiping out a good chunk of our savings. For those of you who have tried IVF or looking into it, it is a very expensive process and money flies out just like that. We were fortunate that my company paid a portion of the first round of IVF, but unfortunately that first round failed, so we were completely on our own for the second round. Our bank account was totally empty, but it was totally worth it. We got our baby girl. This was a year full of joy and some tough financial times. It was a year of inflation and the year I renewed my mortgage. For the past few years, we've been enjoying low mortgage rate of 2.9%, and when we went to renew our mortgage, we renewed it at 6.9%, which is almost 7%, and that's more than double what we are currently paying. This cost us about $800 on top of what we are already paying just to have a roof over our head. While my money was dwindling away every month, for the first time in my life, I felt that I was not in control and relying on my husband to buy the little things like a pair of pants from Costco that cost only $20, which I could no longer afford. I couldn't contribute much to our family in terms of finance, as my little paycheck from the government went straight into paying a portion of our mortgage. My life consists of pumping 5 times a day, every single day for a full year. My entire day was spent on feeding this little one and changing her diaper, and the time just flew by. At first, I did not have any downtime, but life is getting easier. When she learned to walk, that was where it got exhausting. I could not keep up with my living space for even a day. Every day, I would have to pick up her toys that was flung everywhere. Just look at this little troublemaker. For those of you who have been watching me for a while, I was able to start my own small business while I was on mat leave. My first product was making flower hair clips. So if you have a baby at home, you know how much they sleep during the daytime. And when my little daughter is sleeping, I would sit beside her and take the opportunity to make as many flower hair clips and baby headband as I can. I didn't know what I was going to do with a whole bunch of these baby hair clips. I know I'd be selling them someday, so I had to make a lot. I am a crafter and I've made a whole bunch of random things as a hobby over the years, and this is the first time I thought about turning my craft into a business. Most of my earlier products have been for babies and kids, and later I added scrunchies to my collection so that adults like me can also enjoy the hair accessories. For those of you who are thinking about crafting full time, you will definitely not make a living at the start, so don't go quitting your job just to do it. Depending on how long it takes you to make an item, sometimes you can make less than minimum wage. One of my goals is to sell online, but I don't have any experience selling online since it's highly competitive, but I was able to sell my product at markets in person. I didn't know that I could make an extra little income selling my craft, but it opened a new door to opportunities that I did not expect. And my daughter has been a part of it every step of the way. If you've watched my previous videos, you've probably seen her in some of my market vlog. As I'm reflecting for the 1 year that I'm not working my corporate 9-to-5 job, it has been a very challenging year. I became a mom and started my small business. I won't be broke for long because I will be going back to my full-time corporate 9-to-5 job to help relieve some of the financial stress during the 1 year that I did not work. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I know that there are brighter days ahead. Thank you so much for following my journey, and I hope you all like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!